If I was starting my home from scratch tomorrow, here is exactly what I would buy for every single room in my home: living room, entryway, kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, home office, the real prices, the mistakes I'd skip, and the order that actually makes sense. So let's start at the front door. The entryway sets the emotional tone for your home for everybody who walks in, so it's really important to get this space right. So the first thing that I would buy here is not decor, it is 100% absolutely storage. Specifically, a slim piece of storage that I can fit up against the wall and fit all sorts of things inside, mostly my shoes, with enough room on top to display things like a storage container for keys, other essentials, a lamp, and maybe a little bit of greenery. Hidden storage is so important in an entryway because if your entryway is messy and chaotic, it's gonna set the tone and make your whole home feel messy and chaotic. Now, the storage console that I keep recommending over and over again for many years, I'll link it below in that description box, is this IKEA stall unit. It runs around $150 Canadian at IKEA, and I love it because it's very narrow, so it doesn't take up a lot of space in a smaller entryway or entry hallway. It's beautiful, practical, gives you storage for things like that key container, lamp, small decor and accessories. But then you can open up all these drawers underneath and fit things inside like shoes or even winter accessories. I bought a couple for our entryway hallway. I painted them to match the trim in my home exactly, added some board and batten detail to make them look in, but you could just put these up in your space as is. Whether you use them as they are or you customize them, I think they're one of the best pieces you can add to your entryway for so much storage. As for the mistakes that I would avoid, I would skip buying a runner rug that's hard to wash. I made this mistake when we first moved into our home. I bought what I thought was this beautiful teal colored runner rug, but I didn't really think about how dirty this thing would get. We live on an acreage. We track so much mud, dirt, and snow into our house every single year, and it just kept looking worse and worse. So later on, I finally invested in a washable rug. This one is from Ruggable, but there's also lots of less expensive ones that I love from Amazon. I will link them all down in that description box below. And I haven't looked back. This thing is so easy to put in the wash, cleans up like a dream. I'm not always thinking about people tracking things in and wrecking this rug in my entryway, and I love how this looks. So for the entryway, definitely starting with that slim shoe storage and then making sure you use a washable area rug. I love the idea of a cordless table lamp on the console. You don't have to worry about where you're gonna plug this thing in. And then a little basket for some keys or other accessories. This one's from Dollarama. They're really easy to find at the dollar store. Total to get my entryway functional and beautiful from scratch is roughly around $500 Canadian, and it'll look intentional from day one. Now in the living room, which is where I am right now, the first thing I would do, full stop, is invest in a proper sofa. This is the absolute most important piece in your living room, and if you have a budget, put most of it towards this piece. Everything else in your living room can get chosen around the sofa, so that's the most important thing to consider first. So if I was starting over, I would not look at anything else but a sofa. And here's the mistake that I made the first time. I bought the sofa that I loved visually instead of thinking what actually worked in my space for practical reasons with kids, pets, and just a busy life. I've had a velvet sofa in the past, and while it looked beautiful, it just was not the right fabric for the space. And if you have kids or a busy household like I do, I definitely recommend something that's really easy to clean. So my first choice would be a slip covered sofa like the ones I have here now, or a leather sofa that's easy to wipe down. Fabrics like boucle and velvet are gorgeous, but they're just not practical for real life. So I would go now for a washable slipcover or leather every single time. Now after the sofa, here is the order that I would go. I would do sofa, and then I would choose my area rug next, ensuring that it's the proper size for my space. I recommend making sure that at least the front legs of your furniture can sit on the area rug, if not all of the legs. So in my living room here, I have a 9x12 rug. Now these can be rather expensive, but again, I would put more of the budget towards this because it's gonna anchor your whole space. I also invested in a washable rug here, and it was completely worth every penny. Then I would go for a coffee table, and I like to do a storage ottoman, especially if you have a smaller space, because it does double duty. Not only can you decorate the top of it, but you can also open it up and put things inside. Curtains, I would hang them high and wide every single time. This is gonna make my windows look bigger, my ceiling look taller, and just the whole room look more expensive than it is. And then lastly, I would choose my pillows and throws, and these are the decor accents that you could change up seasonally, and you don't have to spend as much money on these. The mistake that I would avoid is buying accent chairs too early, and I definitely did this in my own living room. I've had 3 different accent chairs in this space before I decided, wait, I actually think we need for our family facing sofas. If your family's like mine and your kids like to lounge around a lot in the living room, that just makes so much more sense for practical purposes. So with a slip-covered fabric sofa, washable area rug, storage ottoman, some curtain panels, a throw blanket, throw pillow, you could do a complete living room refresh starting from scratch for under $2,000 Canadian. You gotta be strategic about it, and it's gonna look 3 times more expensive than that. Now let's talk about kitchens. Here's the thing about them. You can't really change up lots of the major elements in this space, like the cabinets, the countertops, the appliances, unless you're doing a whole kitchen renovation. So starting a kitchen from scratch is really about working with what you have as a base and making it look organized and intentional. Now, the first thing I would do in my kitchen is declutter those countertops to almost nothing. And I have learned this the hard way. The less stuff you have on your countertop, the better. One appliance that you use daily, in my case, we always use this KitchenAid mixer. A grouping of decorative items in one little corner is enough. Maybe one larger arrangement on your island if you have one. Then some pretty containers for your salt, vinegar, oil, and butter, and that's it. This is gonna make your kitchen look cleaner, bigger, and more expensive than any product that you can buy. Now, if I was going to buy a few things for my kitchen from scratch, I think what would make the biggest difference, and what has made the biggest difference in my space, is buying containers for those ingredients that I use every single day. So gorgeous jars with these gold lids for my oil and vinegar. I want these right by my stove, so why not make them look pretty? There's a beautiful wooden salt keeper for my salt, really easy to use, and I love the contrast of the wood against the glass. This marble butter keeper is so gorgeous, heavy. It's a little bit on the pricier side, but it's gonna last forever, and it works so well. And the mistake that I would avoid in the kitchen if starting it from scratch was buying a matching set of everything. So having, your canisters, your towels, your utensil holders all look the same, maybe the same color and texture. Mixing up materials and textures is what's gonna make your kitchen look interesting, lived in, and unique. So buy a ceramic piece, a wooden piece, a marble piece. And thrift stores are actually a great place to look for things like this. I also have some nice, inexpensive Amazon finds here in my kitchen. I will link those down in that description box for you. So with these oil and vinegar bottles, this wooden salt cellar, this marble butter keeper, a ceramic bowl that I can use either for pasta or for styling my counter, and some inexpensive greenery stems in a thrifted vase. You could spend under $200 to make your kitchen feel cozy and pulled together. Now, the primary bedroom, the one thing that I would do first, absolutely, is invest in a comfy and beautiful bed frame. Not anything else. This is what your whole bedroom is based on, and this is what's going to give you the most comfort in the space. We spent many, many years sleeping on a mattress on a bed frame that was solid wood with a really high, hard headboard. And when I finally got a proper upholstered bed frame with a beautiful upholstered headboard, it made so much difference in how my bedroom looked and how it functioned. The room looked so much cozier and the bed was so much more comfy. So the order that I'd buy things for my bedroom is I would absolutely buy the bed frame first. This one was actually from Amazon. I will link it down in that description box below. Next, I would go to quality bedding and make sure that you invest in natural fibers. That's gonna make a huge difference in your space. Then I get 2 matching nightstands. Symmetry is gonna look really good in a space. Then I would do 1 table lamp on each nightstand or 1 pendant light like I have here in my bedroom with some sort of textured shade. I'd also make sure to only use warm bulbs in my space to make my room feel cozy. Then I go for window treatments, again, making sure to hang my drapes high and wide. Make sure to do blackout drapes because those are really important for the function of your bedroom. These are from IKEA and I love them. Then finally, 1 piece of art above the headboard. And I like to make sure mine's about at least 1/3 of the width of my bed frame. As for the mistake that I would absolutely avoid buying polyester bedding. I've made this mistake in the past. It is sticky. It can feel soft at first, but it's gonna pill shortly after you buy it. So for a polished and comfy bedroom, definitely invest in some natural fibers. My favorite is a cotton linen blend. I love that blend so much. I even launched my own line of sheets. I'll link it below, but if you live outside of Canada, I will link an alternative for you that's also a beautiful cotton linen blend. So with all of these pieces in mind, you can create a beautiful and cozy bedroom from scratch for under $1,000, and you can make it feel like a boutique hotel. Now moving on to the bathroom, the one thing I would do here first, and this might sound weird, but this is so important, is investing in high quality, fluffy white towels. Most people buy whatever towels they can find on sale and mix and match. But if you want that high quality boutique hotel look, find the fluffiest towels, and if you keep them in a nice bright white color, match them with a bath mat, your whole bathroom is gonna feel so elevated. I'll link my favorite towels in that description box below. You can display them rolled up in a basket, or you can display them on a table. I actually thrifted this one and I love it. As for the mistake that I would avoid, I would not put so many cluttered things on my countertops or in my shower. Try to keep these to a minimum and put everything else in closed storage like your vanity. All you really need are a few soap dispensers like these that I have in my shower niche, a small tray, or you can DIY a bathtub tray like I have here, add a pretty candle, and that's pretty much it. Counter clutter and cluttering all of the surfaces in your bathroom is really the fastest way to make your bathroom look cheap, regardless of how nice everything else is in the space. So for under $150, you can make a boutique style bathroom that looks completely transformed. In the home office, the one thing that I would do first is consider the desk placement in the space. Before I bought anything else for my home office, I would think about where my desk is going to function the best. And you want to consider having natural light from the side, not behind your computer monitor. Natural light is going to make a huge difference in how your space feels to you and how it functions. And then once the desk is chosen and placed correctly, everything else is going to follow after that. This desk is an oldie from IKEA. They still make something similar, and I painted it, swapped out the knobs, and I love it. So the order that I'd buy things is the desk. I'd make sure to choose something that has at least one drawer for storage. Then I'd go for my office chair. Don't cheap out here. Make sure you have something that's comfy, and I prefer something that can roll around. Then you want to consider a desk lamp that's nice and cozy feeling. Again, you want to consider using something that has a warm white light bulb. Storage, I like to do open shelving above my desk. These are just from IKEA and I painted them. 1 or 2 plants to make your office feel alive. Now, I have not successfully had real plants in my office because of the north-facing room, so I just have some faux ones from IKEA and love them. And then consider adding some art or maybe even a mood board wall to give your space some personality and texture. The mistake that I would avoid in here is having cables or a modem displayed to make the space feel super messy. Something that I would recommend investing in, and it's not even that much money, is a cable management box like this one from Amazon that can hide charging cables, etc. Make your space look so much better. I also purchased this cutting board with legs from IKEA, flipped it over, put some books in it, and that was a really easy way to hide my modem on my desk. So for under about $650, you can create a cozy home office that also functions wonderfully, and it's a space that you actually want to work in. So if I was to summarize everything that I just said into some simple rules that I would follow if I was starting over my home from scratch, number 1 would absolutely be to buy storage before buying decor. In every single room, get the function right first. Rule number 2, anchor each room before you accessorize. So think about the big furniture piece that makes the most impact on the space, function-wise and visually. In the living room, that's the sofa. In the bedroom, that's the bed frame. Rule 3, one of my favorites, hang your curtains high and wide. Every room, every time, do it. It's gonna change how your room feels. Rule number 4, clear your counters and all of your surfaces. This is one that I have to work on every single day. Negative space is actually an intentional design choice. It makes your room feel less cluttered, higher end. You don't have to fill every single surface with something. Rule number 5, don't rush decorating your space. The best spaces I find have taken months or even years to get right. You don't have to buy everything at once. You can add in things as you live in your space and find things that you love. And often finding things at the thrift store, antique store, secondhand store, collecting beautiful, intentional, coordinated things is gonna make your space feel unique and gorgeous. If you found this video helpful, could you do me a favor and share this with a friend who's either moving into a new space, maybe they're renovating their space, maybe they're trying to decorate the space and they just don't know why it feels off. This is the video that I wish I had years ago when I was starting to decorate my home. Don't forget, I have linked everything that I've mentioned in this video or similar products down in that description box below for you. And if you'd like more home decor ideas to make your home beautiful and cozy on a budget, I'm gonna leave this video for you to watch next right here. It's 10 home decor tricks that make your home look expensive that hardly cost anything. I'll see you in that video.